You're about to see 10 Medicare scams that are targeting Americans 65 and older right now, costing seniors billions of dollars a year, and specifically engineered to exploit the trust people naturally have in anything that sounds like it's coming from the government. If you have a parent or grandparent on Medicare, this is exactly the kind of video worth sending them directly. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how these 10 scams work, and I'll give you 5 simple habits that protect against nearly all of them at once, no matter how convincing the caller sounds. I promise you, if you or someone you love is on Medicare, at least one of these has already tried to reach them. Before we get into it, if you're new here, hit subscribe and turn on that notification bell because these scams shift every single enrollment season, and I break down the new ones the moment they start spreading. Let's start with number 10. At number 10, the fake Medicare card replacement scam, one of the oldest tricks in this entire list and still one of the most effective. The call comes in claiming Medicare is issuing updated cards with new security features, and that your current card can't be mailed until your identity is verified. Sometimes the story runs the other direction instead, with the caller claiming your existing card has already been compromised and a replacement is being processed right now. Either version ends the same way. The caller asks for your Medicare beneficiary identifier, your date of birth, and often your full Social Security number, all under the guise of confirming your file before they can send the new card. Here's the plain truth behind this one. There is no nationwide rollout requiring all Medicare members to replace their cards. You only receive a new one if someone has already committed fraud using your information, or if you personally requested a replacement yourself through official channels. Some versions of this scam go a step further and ask for a small processing fee to cover mailing the new card, which means beyond the identity theft risk, you're also handing over a live credit card number to someone with no legitimate reason to have it. The tell is built right into the premise. Medicare does not call you to issue a new card, and it never needs you to verify your existing number over the phone in order to send you anything. It's also worth knowing that caller ID offers no protection here at all. Scammers can spoof the display so that an incoming call appears to come from 1-800-MEDICARE or a local government office, even though the real agency has nothing to do with the call. Seeing a familiar name or number on your screen tells you nothing about who's actually on the other end. You won't believe what's coming up next, because this one doesn't ask for your information at all. It just asks for your Medicare number, and that's somehow even worse. Number 9. The free medical equipment scam, and this one works specifically because it sounds like you're being offered something, not asked for something. The call is friendly and upbeat. Someone's offering you a free back brace, a knee brace, a diabetic monitor, or a mobility scooter, completely covered by Medicare. All they need is your Medicare number to confirm your eligibility before shipping it out. It sounds like good news landing in your lap. Here's what's actually happening. The scammer isn't shipping you anything useful, and in plenty of cases, nothing arrives at all. What they're really doing is billing Medicare in your name for equipment that either never gets delivered or gets delivered as a cheap, unusable version specifically to make the fraudulent claim look legitimate on paper. Either way, your Medicare number is now out in the world, and it can be reused to file additional false claims for surgeries, prescriptions, or equipment you never asked for and never received. Real medical equipment suppliers do not cold call you with free offers. They work from a prescription your own doctor already wrote, which means the entire premise of an unsolicited call offering free equipment is the red flag by itself before anything else about the call even matters. There's a second layer to this scam worth knowing too. Even when a physical item does show up at your door, it's often cheap, low quality, and completely unrelated to any real medical need you have. The item itself was never really the point. It exists mainly as cover, something tangible to point to if anyone ever questions the legitimacy of the Medicare claim filed under your name. I'm sure you've already had a version of this next one land in your mailbox, dressed up to look exactly like something from the government. At number 8, misleading government-style mail-in texts. And this one banks entirely on how official something looks rather than what it actually says. An envelope arrives stamped with language like, "Important Medicare Notice," or "Official Government Document," designed to look indistinguishable from something Medicare itself would send. Inside, or sometimes in a text message using your actual name, you're told your Social Security cost of living increase is ready, but you first need to confirm your Medicare number to activate it. The text often links to a page built to look exactly like a real government website, right down to the layout and seal. None of this is how the real process works. Cost of living increases are automatic. There's no activation step, no confirmation link, and nothing you need to do to receive an increase you're already entitled to. The mailers and texts exist purely to get you to type your Medicare number, Social Security number, or banking details into a page designed to capture it. The rule that defeats this one instantly: government agencies communicate slowly, by official mail, and never link you to a page asking you to confirm a number you already have on file. Anything urging you to act fast through a text link is not coming from the government, regardless of how convincing the seal and formatting look. You're not going to see this next one coming because it shows up disguised as a benefit, not a threat. Number 7, the fake Medicare Flex Card offer. And this one has exploded specifically through social media ads in the last couple of years. You see an ad promising a free debit card loaded with money for groceries, utilities, or other everyday expenses just for switching to a new Medicare Advantage plan. The ad looks polished, uses real Medicare branding, and promises benefits that sound too good to pass up. Research tracking these ads found hundreds of millions of views on this exact pattern across social media in just the past year, with the overwhelming majority of those views reaching people over the age of 65 specifically. Here's the reality behind the offer. Legitimate flex cards do exist, but only through specific Medicare Advantage plans and only for certain qualifying members, typically tied to income or Medicaid eligibility. The ads pushing this scam aren't offering you a real card at all. They're using the promise of one to get your Social Security number, banking information, or Medicare details, or to enroll you in a plan you never actually agreed to switch into. The habit that catches this one every time: any flex card offer needs to come directly from your actual Medicare Advantage plan provider, never from a random ad or unsolicited call. If you're curious whether you qualify, call your plan directly using the number on your card, not a number from the ad. I'm sure this next one has confused someone in your life because it hides inside a real, genuine change to how Medicare works. At number 6, the fake Part D refund scam, and this is one of the newest tricks on this list, built specifically around real prescription cost changes to make the lie sound believable. Recent Medicare Part D changes capped out-of-pocket prescription drug costs for enrollees. A real, legitimate policy shift. Scammers took that real change and built a fake story around it. The caller message claims you overpaid for your prescriptions under the old rules and are now entitled to a refund. All you have to do is confirm your Social Security number and bank account details so the refund can be processed. There is no refund process that requires you to hand over your banking information over the phone or through a text link. Real adjustments to your Medicare account happen automatically or through your actual plan provider, never through an unsolicited call referencing a policy change you may have only vaguely heard about. What makes this one particularly effective is that the underlying premise, the drug cost cap itself, is completely real, which makes the fake refund on top of it feel plausible to someone who's been hearing about the actual policy change in the news. This next one might be the most personally invasive on the entire list, because it doesn't just want your Medicare number, it wants a foothold inside your entire financial life. Wait before we continue. Don't just get smart with healthcare scams and ripoffs, you need to be also smart with online scams. Many scammers and fraudsters' operations are online. They track every website you visit, every search you run, and every message you send. Your internet provider, your router, that coffee shop Wi-Fi from last Tuesday, all of it logged, all of it for sale. NordVPN fixes that. One app encrypts your connection, masks your IP, and now includes a built-in antivirus that blocks malware and phishing in real time. Over 9,500 servers, up to 10 devices, dark web monitor included. Check the link in the description and get 76% off right now, plus 3 months free. Number 5, the benefit cancellation threat, and this one skips straight past confusion and goes directly for panic. The caller claims there's a problem with your account. Unpaid fees. Missing paperwork. An issue that, if not resolved immediately, will result in your Medicare coverage being canceled entirely. The tone is urgent, sometimes stern, designed to make you feel like you're seconds away from losing your healthcare unless you comply right now, on this call, before you've had a chance to think it through or check with anyone else. Medicare does not cancel benefits over unpaid fees discovered through a phone call, and it never threatens cancellation as a pressure tactic to extract information or payment. Coverage issues, on the rare occasion they exist, get resolved through official correspondence and your actual plan provider. never through a stranger on the phone demanding immediate action. The single defense against this one is refusing to let urgency make the decision for you. A caller claiming your healthcare is about to disappear unless you act in the next few minutes is describing a threat that Medicare itself does not make. Hang up and call 1-800-MEDICARE directly to check on your actual account status. You'll be surprised by the next one, because it doesn't come from a stranger's voice at all. It comes from a voice that sounds exactly like someone you love. At number 4, the AI voice clone Medicare scam. And this is the one that's evolved the fastest, specifically because the technology behind it has become so widely available. Using just a few seconds of audio pulled from a public video, a voicemail greeting, or an old recorded call, scammers can now convincingly clone a voice and use it to impersonate a Medicare administrator, a pharmacist, or even a panicked family member claiming they're wrapped up in a fake Medicare fraud investigation and need money urgently to fix it. The voice sounds right. The emotion sounds right. Everything about the call is built to bypass your logic and go straight for fear. This particular version is especially dangerous because it blends two of the most effective scam tactics into one call: the authority of a government-sounding voice and the emotional urgency of a distressed loved one. Either framing is designed to get you moving before you've had time to verify anything. The fix here doesn't require you to detect anything about the voice itself, because the cloning technology has genuinely gotten good enough that you often can't. Instead, agree on a family safe word today, something only your real family would know. Never post it anywhere online. If a call like this comes in, calmly ask for it. No safe word, no money, no exceptions. Hang up and call your family member directly using a number you already have. You won't believe how many seniors have received calls exactly like this next one, disguised as a routine, unremarkable enrollment call. Number 3, high-pressure enrollment call centers. And this one operates in a gray area that technically involves real licensed products just sold through completely illegitimate pressure tactics. Every fall, during Medicare's official enrollment period, marketing activity explodes across the entire industry, and so do the scams riding along with it. Call centers reach out uninvited, promising bundles of extra benefits, dental, vision, hearing, groceries, sometimes even a boost to your Social Security check, all wrapped into a plan that supposedly costs you nothing. The rep on the phone rushes you, insisting you'll lose coverage or miss the deal entirely if you don't decide on this exact call. Here's the part that makes this one especially concerning. In documented cases, some of these call centers have enrolled seniors into new plans without clear, informed consent at all, sometimes using vague or rushed language during the call that later gets treated as an agreement. Once you're enrolled, unwinding it and getting back to your original plan can become a genuine hassle, sometimes stretching across weeks of phone calls just to undo a decision you never fully agreed to make in the first place. Medicare itself does not make sales calls or send representatives to enroll you in a plan. Any legitimate plan change should happen because you initiated contact, whether through Medicare.gov, a licensed agent you already know and trust, or a call you placed yourself. A simple way to protect yourself during enrollment season specifically: if a call, text, or ad promises a long list of extra perks for switching plans right this moment, treat the pressure itself as the warning sign, regardless of how appealing the perks sound. A real licensed agent will always give you time to think it over, request written details you can review on your own schedule, and never insist that the offer disappears the second you hang up the phone. This next one might be the hardest to catch, because it doesn't happen over the phone or in the mail at all. It happens quietly, through paperwork you never actually asked for. At number 2, fraudulent home health billing. And this scam frequently happens without the senior even realizing anything occurred until a suspicious statement shows up months later. A company offers in-home care, physical therapy, or medical equipment delivery, sometimes after a seemingly innocent phone call, sometimes after a senior's information was sold or leaked from an earlier unrelated scam. Services get billed to Medicare under that senior's name, whether or not any care was actually provided, or the equipment delivered was ever needed or used. This one is particularly damaging because it often doesn't cost the senior money directly out of pocket in the moment, which is exactly why it goes unnoticed for so long. Instead, it drains actual Medicare benefits, corrupts medical records with services that were never really rendered, and can even affect future coverage decisions based on a fabricated care history that doesn't reflect anything real. The only reliable way to catch this one is reviewing your Medicare summary notices regularly, not just glancing at the total, but actually reading the specific services and providers listed. If something appears that you don't recognize, a therapy visit you never had, equipment that was never delivered, that's not a billing mistake to shrug off. It's a sign your Medicare number has likely already been compromised somewhere else. And now, the one I've saved for last because it's quietly become one of the largest sources of financial loss on this entire list, hiding behind something that looks completely routine, taking the number one spot, the Medicare number harvest, because this is less a single scam and more the engine that powers almost everything else on this list. Unlike a credit card, a stolen Medicare number can't simply be canceled and reissued the moment fraud is discovered. Once a scammer has it, they can file false claims for surgeries, prescriptions, and equipment you never received, corrupting your actual medical history in the process. That corrupted history doesn't just cost Medicare money. It can quietly affect the care you receive in the future, since providers may be working from records that no longer accurately reflect your real medical background. This is exactly why nearly every scam on this list, the fake card replacement, the free equipment offer, the phony refund, the cancellation threat, ultimately circles back to the exact same goal. They're not really after a one-time payment. They're after your Medicare number itself, because that single piece of information can be reused, resold, and rebilled against for years after the original call ends. The single rule that protects against every version of this scam, no exceptions: never share your Medicare number, your Medicare beneficiary identifier, or your Social Security number with anyone who contacts you first. Medicare representatives only ask for that information if you were the one who initiated the call. If someone calls you and asks for it, the call itself is the scam, regardless of how official they sound or what they're offering in return. Here's the good news. You don't need 10 different defenses for 10 different scams. These 5 habits protect against nearly all of them at once. 1. Never give your Medicare number to anyone who calls you first. Medicare only asks for that information if you were the one who placed the call. If someone contacts you asking to verify it, the request itself is the scam. 2. Treat urgency as proof it's fake, not a reason to hurry. Medicare does not threaten to cancel your coverage over the phone, and it does not create emergencies that require you to act in the next 5 minutes. Real issues can wait for you to call back on your own terms. 3. Never enroll in or switch a plan unless you were the one who made the call. Medicare does not cold call to sell you anything. Any legitimate enrollment conversation should start because you reached out, not because someone reached out to you. 4. Set a family safe word today, before you ever need it. A short phrase only your real family knows defeats AI voice cloning instantly, whether the caller claims to be a loved one, a Medicare administrator, or anyone else asking for money or information under pressure. 5. Read your Medicare summary notices line by line, not just the total. This is the single best way to catch fraudulent billing before it snowballs, whether it's fake equipment, a home health visit that never happened, or a charge tied to a number that's already been compromised. That's 10 Medicare scams targeting Americans 65 and older right now, and 5 habits that protect against nearly all of them at once. These scams work because they borrow the trust people rightfully have in their own healthcare system and turn it into a weapon against the very people that system is supposed to protect. If this opened your eyes to something you didn't know about, hit that like button and drop a comment telling me which one of these you or someone you love has actually encountered. Share this with your parents, your grandparents, or anyone in your life on Medicare, because this is exactly the kind of video that can stop a devastating call before it ever gets the chance to work. Subscribe and turn on notifications because these scams evolve every single enrollment season, and I'll be right here breaking down the next one the moment it starts spreading. Stay sharp, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.